Ethical Perspectives on the News is produced by the Interreligious Council of Linn County, which is solely responsible for its content. The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of KCRG TV9.
Hi, I'm LaSheila Yates. I am the moderator for today and a producer of Ethical Perspectives on the News. Thank you for joining us, and we're glad that you've tuned in. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's very relevant to the state of where we see ourselves as a society, as a country, and really it's focusing on Black entrepreneurship in the age of contemporary pro-Black activism. And today I'm joined here with three guests that have a variety of perspectives and insight to add on the topic, and we are glad that they're here to join us on our show today. So first, I want to introduce everyone to our first guest, which is Maurice Davis. He's located in Cedar Rapids and has done a lot of work in our community concerning entrepreneurship, starting small businesses, and really supporting their plight. Particularly, I admire his work in working with small Black businesses because the support is definitely needed, and we want to see him, continue to do that great work. So, Maurice, could you tell us a bit about yourself and, your small business or the work that you've done with some small businesses? I know you have one of your own, so tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on the show. So again, my name is Maurice Davis. I'm a certified business coach. And what I do in my morning life is I help small business owners, particularly minority business owners, remove barriers to their growth. And then I also have my own consulting firm called Istu Consulting, where I work with nonprofits to make sure their marketing and operations align in order for them to grow. And so everything that I do is surrounded around kind of helping folks that need the most help. And that's where I get my fire from. So I would say that probably does it for me.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. Our next guest that I'll introduce here is Faith Robinson. She is also located in Cedar Rapids, and his work is also working with a lot of our small businesses, supporting Black-owned businesses. And, it's definitely a delight to have her here and to share her perspective and the work that she's doing to sustain and support, people that look like me and that operate in this world and want to have build some type of generational wealth. So she's playing a role in that. And Faith, I'd like you to share a bit about yourself and, your relation to Black-owned businesses.
Okay. So I am the marketing specialist at Empower. I would say I'm the right-hand man, but I'm the right-hand woman to Maurice at Empower. So it's just us. So I handle a lot of the social media and the marketing stuff, dealing one-on-one with the entrepreneurs more intimately, because for some reason, I guess maybe because I'm a woman, they tend to come with me with their obstacles or their life challenges. So that's that I get to know them and their children, their families, and I'm just there to support them because I'm in that same situation. And I also have just started my photography business, which is 4K photography.
Okay, thank you very much, and we appreciate the work that you're doing here in Cedar Rapids. So thank you. Our final guest we have on here is LaTasha Loyden, and I want to say this much. I've known LaTasha. We went to high school together. She actually graduated with my younger sister, which is a year behind me, and I invited her. She's in Alexandria, Louisiana, my hometown, and I invited her to give another perspective as a business owner. I most recently purchased a dress from her because I saw it and I loved it, and I said, you know what? I really want to support her because that's a dress I would get anyway. And I know that she's a good person and she definitely takes care of her business. So I want to introduce her and have her tell us a bit about her business and what she does.
Hello, hello, hello. I am LaTasha Loyden. I am the owner of Kurve Couture LLC. I have a clothing boutique, not only clothing, but accessories too, and of course, jewelry. My business was founded in October of 2020, and I'm just super excited about the experience, the networking I have. I'm able to network with different people, the marketing. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, but I tell you, I should have been done this. So I'm super excited about it. And I love being able to interact with the women, encourage them. But of course, my boutique does cater to the curvy woman. So like I said, my sizes are from extra large to 3X. So I'm just here. I'm so excited about it. I really am.
Thank you very much, and thank you for offering a product for folks that are more curvy. I definitely say beautiful, definitely nice products that you offer. Um, I'll just head into the conversation. The first question I really want us to learn from you all, or hear from you, is why did you start your business? Like, what motivated you to start a business? And so, LaTasha, I'm going to start with you because you started a business during a pandemic in 2020, and it wasn't too long ago. So, what made you do that?
Well, I'm going to kind of break it down just briefly. I am in the lending business. I work with a loan company. I'm assistant manager of a loan office. Just uncertainty. Like I've been with the company over 6.5 years. I've saw the numbers. We've always had great numbers, but during this pandemic, of course, you know yourself with people losing their jobs, being laid off, just the different things that we're having to dealing with what is going on in the world. And of course the numbers dropping. But this is something that I've been wanting to do. It is just that I feel like these issues and the things that we're dealing with nowadays pushed me. So it's like I kind of was fearing all this stuff about, oh, what if this and what if that. So I finally said, enough is enough. I'm gonna step out on faith. And I did that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Maurice or Faith, would you like to add to really that question? Why did you start your business?
Sure, I'll go. So I'll say that I started with Empower. I'll talk about Empower and then my business, my photography business. So I was a non-traditional student. I had my kids early, was married, then got divorced, and my kids started growing up. And I'm like, okay, I don't just want to be known as a wife and as a mom. That's great. I love those things. But what am I going to do with my life? Like I had to put my dreams on hold because my kids came first, which is fine. But at the end of the day, we're more than just moms, and I wanted to leave my mark and let my kids know you can change your life. It's your choice, no matter what your age. So I think I was probably 40 when I graduated college. When I was in college, I originally went back in '97 when I first started. I was a biology major. When I came back, I said, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm too old. So what am I going to do now? And I was in college, and I came across this news convergence class, and it was the hardest class ever, but it changed my life. That's where I started doing photography, videography. And I'm like, I really like to do this, and I like to write, and that's what I'm good at. So I was working this job just to get through school, and I couldn't do it like another week. So I started looking for jobs, and somebody gave me a job on Facebook, and it was one of my old professors was the one that was hiring from Mount Mercy. So I was like, oh my God, like I have to apply for this job. And it's helping, minority business owners. I want to do something that is impacting my community, that is helping other people. Um, so I applied for the job, and because of all the stuff that I learned in college, I picked up new skills. I got hired. So here I am. And then Maurice pushed me like, you can take pictures. Why don't you start your own business? It'd be so easy. And I kept making all these excuses. Oh, I'm too old, and I don't know that I can do it, and I'm not that good. And he's like, just do it, Faith. So I finally started, and yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. And Maurice, I see that you motivated Faith, and I know that you're motivating a lot of businesses around here. Plus, you have your own. So what got you involved with just working with businesses in general?
It's funny, but I didn't think about it until I actually started this working with small business owners. My mother actually did basically what I'm doing now when I was a little kid. And so I used to see her working with business owners and helping them figure stuff out and getting stuff sorted out and helping them move kind of to the next level. And I through my life, I've gone off and done other things. I was in the military. I did, the solid corporate structure at Geico, and I did the financial advising thing. And while I had success in each one of those, it just didn't quite fit me and what I needed out of life in order to feel fulfilled. And then this opportunity to take over the Empower program kind of like popped up. And so I was like, sure, I'll take on the role. I help small businesses to the best of my ability. And what I realized when I got into the program that I kind of been preparing for being a business coach my entire life.
So in speaking about, just, kind of reflecting on the work that you're doing and, even hearing that you saw your mom doing the same thing, I want to, just learn from you and get your perspective about, right now we're seeing a lot of pro-Black activism. We've seen the, Black Lives Matter movement and how it really, really kind of started taking off more in the summer because of just in 2020 a variety of unfortunate events against black men and Black women when it comes to police brutality. But at the same time, we also saw the focus on the hashtag support Black businesses. And so, Maurice, what are your thoughts about the increase of Black businesses and, really, your thoughts about the role of activism, pro-Black activism in relation to that increase focused on Black businesses?
Sure. That's a great question. And I would say, we start talking about the role of Black activism in order to driving entrepreneurship in the Black community. In many cases, you would say that it takes a high level of confidence to start an entrepreneurial journey. I tell people all the time, if you really think about what entrepreneurship is or what starting a business is, it's saying, I'm going to let go of my security in hopes of finding security. And so that value proposition in and of itself isn't enough in order to make someone do it. You got to have a screw loose and a whole lot of confidence to go along with it. And so some of that is I have to see people going out and doing it in order for me to believe that I can go out and do it. And sometimes it's I just need someone else to kind of help me light that fire, or not light it, but stoke it. And so we can even use Faith as an example. She's very capable of starting her own business, but sometimes you just need someone there to fan that flame. And so that's pretty much what I believe pro-Black activism is doing for folks in these seats and saying, I'm finally ready.
And LaTasha, I know you're joining us from Louisiana. What are your thoughts about, the environment there? And, I've seen a lot of events and kind of like pop-up shops in Alexandria for Black businesses that I hadn't seen before, since ever. And so could you tell us a bit about that? And was there a relationship between the Black Lives Matter movement?
Well, you're right about that. Yourself, you're from here just as well as me. We've never had anything like that. We've always had the marketplace where there's other cultures that would actually meet up and shop during the weekends. Never anything dealing with our culture. I strongly believe that the movement is more of the reason why so many of us are coming together. We're networking with each other, shopping together, we're marketing each other. I think with what's actually been going on in the world and in this area really brought a lot of the small business owners, Black-owned businesses, together. And so we are getting together and we're networking with each other and we're doing pop-up shops. I mean, you've seen, I've been in actually 2 so far and getting ready to do another one on the 28th of this month. So yeah, it has played a major role in a lot of Black-owned business and us getting together.
That, and thinking about that, I also wonder because, you know, at some point with any social movement, if you study social movements, there's an issue that comes up. The movement takes place. There are, you know, different players in it, you know, that want to get involved and that sustain it up to a certain period. And then there's sometimes a small group that keeps it going. And so my thought is, when it comes to, you know, Black activism, at some point, you know, we may see that, as you know, there's not going to be as much participation. And so my concern becomes, you know, if the push for entrepreneurship and support Black business has, you know, it has a correlation to the what we see in the birth of a lot of Black businesses. Do you think that we can continue to sustain these efforts and continue to support Black businesses when the movement dies down?
My opinion, I strongly believe that we can and that we will, because a lot of us, as you know, myself, we stepped out and it's actually been something that we've been wanting to do, feared it, but just like the gentleman was saying, then we finally got that igniting to the flame, like it's time, the time is now. You put it on the back burner for long enough. And so when you get out there, you know yourself, April, we're best friends. We've been friends for over 20 something years. And I started, and, you know, it's always been in her too, but we kind of like, you know, step back a little bit and say, I'm not going to step out that security blanket. I'm comfortable. And so now we're like, no, the time is now. So we're out here, we're marketing each other. We're networking with other Black-owned businesses, female-ran businesses. And I feel like even after the movement, we are going to be stronger than what we were when we first started, because the foundation is now, we're building now. So it's going to be greater later. I already see that. I claim that for us.
So I'm going to give two things here. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but let me lay this down a little bit. I think we got a couple of things that are happening right now. So number one, Black activism is driving entrepreneurship, but we're also in a time where being an entrepreneur is cool. And so, like, never before in history have we seen entrepreneurs becoming these massive influences in the world. People like Gary Vee, you know, who do you know that before now would have been able to pick up their phone and get on Instagram and make money for the sake of the fact that they made money, you know? So that creates a whole different environment. And so what I believe will happen is we will see some reduction in entrepreneurship, just as, you know, with any trend. However, I think that if we as people of color, Black folks, take this time and say, okay, yes, there's this trend, there's an uptick, there will be some downtrend. If we take this time to invest in kind of the folks that come after us, then we'll be okay. If we just ride this wave and don't do any investment for the people that are not in this moment, then we'll see some dying off, and we won't be okay.
And I guess my concern is, like, yes, we need to keep riding this wave. Like you said, even after it's not popular with mainstream society anymore, we need to still keep going, because they're not going to go if they don't see us doing it. But are we going to have, like, we teach entrepreneurs every day, we educate them, help them network. But if we don't have access to that capital, can we sustain that? I guess that's my concern.
And so what?
Anybody else?
I'm not trying to cut anybody off.
That's
I
a
would
good
say,
point.
like,
The capital.
access to capital is something we talk about all the time. And so I think like one of the biggest things that, we talk about is like, let me just say it a different way. We always asking, how can we get a seat at the table? At some point we're going to have to, how can we make our own table? And those are big words for a guy that's sitting on the sideline doing what I'm doing right now. I'm not out here raising capital in order to start our own, but at some point those things have to be the solution. So we're seeing things like, more black banks, more black lending institutions pop up, but until more of those have some activity and some growth, we're always going to struggle with access to capital, because when it ain't yours, why would I give it to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And LaTasha, I'm thinking about that, and then your work. Now you are also a loan officer. Do you work with small businesses as well?
Not too many, because we have a cap on how much we can actually lend. So no, I haven't.
I think that's a just interesting thought about that capital. Well, I would say in addition to that, if we don't have the capital, or if we're seeing these barriers, and we know that we have to pass the torch, and that there are all these factors that are at play, how can we, what can we do if there's just one thing that we can do to say this is how we sustain it? It may not, we may see it trend down, or in certain situations, like, in Louisiana, like I know LaTasha, Loyden, you have your business, and then there's, April Stewart, the person, our friend you referenced, that has finessers only. Even with, I think about some of the businesses like Renee Marie, like she made my sorority pin. She makes them for sororities, and she's been doing it, for a long time. And, she's been sustaining it. And I want to know, when we see kind of, some of these businesses that have established themselves, but also some that are relatively new, how do we, say, hey, we know it's going to drop somewhere, but what do we need to do to keep it going? Because I would really hate to see a lot of the momentum die. I would really hate to see people, lose hope because, their concept isn't working, and that there's not that, push, that inspiration, that hashtag that says it's cool to have a Black business, or to be an entrepreneur, or to do the hashtag support Black. Like, how are we going to sustain it when all those things go away?
Yeah, I'll catch this one too. So I think one of the things that's important is that we have to do away with the idea of niceties. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of things that we internalize and we take on and bring them into the entrepreneurial world that don't serve us. And so many times we get weary about doing things because they're not appropriate, especially in Midwestern culture. So the idea of like, the reason why most entrepreneurs hate sales is because they believe that they're bugging someone. But 90% of the time, the reason why a business fails is not the lack of money, it's the lack of customers. And if you had customers that were buying your products at the right prices, your business would never go out of business. It just wouldn't happen. And so that's one, we have to let go of some of the niceties and be okay with what it means to go out and do some stuff that in your day-to-day life may or may not feel right.
I would say, any other thoughts on that? Because the sales piece, it's pretty, it can be uncomfortable if you're not used to having sell like, hey, I made this product, or I'm offering this product. I believe in this product. Now, is someone else going to purchase this product? Or are they going to critique my product? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel like, one thing I can even say for myself, I'm like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm asking for money. But then I had to, it's a real, like, I'm not asking for money, but I'm like, I have something to offer that I think that you'd like, because you're going to buy something similar, but I think my product is what you're going to like. I think you're going to want to buy this, but that may be uncomfortable because the concept may be great, but the ask, if that becomes a barrier, or the price point is a barrier, then, that may be a barrier to sustain it. But where do you go to find out the best practice for that?
As far as best practices around pricing, sales, all that stuff, we could do a whole nother like 8 shows on just those things alone. But I would say, anyone watching this that's looking to level up in those areas, one of my favorite places is lynda.com. And I don't, that's just a general statement, there's no recommendation or whatever. But the reason why is because a lot of the public libraries give you access to that resource for free. And so I would check with your public library. But there's a lot of courses and classes and stuff on there that can give you the fundamental level of skill that you need in order to go out and perform it. Then after you get a basic level of skill, really the thing is just go out and do it. Skin your knee on it, feel what it feels like to fail at it and get back up and keep trying it, because that really is the only way you're going to grow in it. There really is no other way around it. You just got to enjoy the suck.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say. For my experience is just that I don't give up. And it has to be a constant thing, and you just have to remain consistent with everything, dealing with your products, your pricing, and all. I mean, I know my target audience who I'm hitting. I've come in the beginning, and I've encountered a few people that want to price down on the products that I offer, but I know what I'm providing, the services I'm providing, the garments that I have, the accessories that I have. So with that being said, I stick to my guns on what I have, because I know what I offer is quality. And so far it's been pretty good, but sometimes it gets overwhelming. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I mean, I'm tough. I just feel like, I'll keep pushing and it'll all pay off. So I just say for me, with the social media platform has really, really been beneficial for me. I'm still learning. But I really, really enjoy the options and the opportunities that I've been given, with, of course, being able to be part of the pop-up shops, because that's another way that I do a lot of networking with other small business owners. And to me, that is really the reason why we're thriving so well, because we network with one another, and we're able to kind of like go to different areas. It seems small, but for me, it's really, really, really like big. It's big for me. So
okay, well, our time, this interview is went by really fast, and so I gotta cut us off here. So Faith, I apologize for not giving you another word, but we're out of time here. I do appreciate all of you adding your perspectives, and there's so much more I'd like to go into, but again, this is a great topic. I think that we have a lot of work that we're looking to do with Black businesses, and I hope to see us continue those efforts. Stay, if you got a Black business, stay strong, stay motivated, get your capital, and then figure out a way to support each other. So again, I want to thank the guests, and thank you for viewing our show today. So have a good one.
thank you. Y'all have a great one.